unbelievable statistic, an unbelievable week, and he was recognized for it by the conference. Right now we're going to welcome in Danny Gallagher, who is the head basketball coach at Magnificat High School, and also with the Cleveland Basketball Classic, which will be taking place on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University this Saturday with girls basketball action. It's 5 games Saturday, 5 games on Sunday. The boys will take the court on Sunday afternoon and play through the evening. Thank you very much for joining me, Mr. Gallagher. I appreciate the time.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
First and foremost, you got an exciting weekend of basketball on tap, and you're going to be a part of it from a director standpoint and from a coaching standpoint. You got your hands full this weekend, huh?
I do, yeah. It's been a lot of work, a lot of fun putting it together, but I'm excited for it to be here and for it to get started and start rolling.
So talk to me a little bit about how the teams are chosen for this. You've got representatives from all over the area. You've got Bay Village versus Padua, CVCA Gilmore, Olmsted Falls, Reynoldsburg, Magnificat versus Berea Mid-Park, and then St. Joe's Academy versus Medina Highland in the girls' games. And then you have Padua and Hawkins, St. Ed's, Medina, Gilmore, Toledo, St. John's, Solon and Richmond Heights, and Olmsted Falls and Benedictine on the men's side. How did the teams get selected? Is it something that they have to apply for to get in, or?
Yeah, no, there was no application process this year. Maybe, if the event goes well and gets a little more popular, maybe we'll start something like that. But in thinking about doing this event, I've been thinking about it for a few years now, and part of it was, as a coach, you meet so many good people and make so many friends throughout all of this. And before I was the coach at Magnificat, I coached at St. Ed's. So I know coaches on the boys' side. I know coaches on the girls' side. And part of doing this was also to be able to spend some time with people that you care about, that I coach either alongside with or have a lot of respect for, that I've coached against. Different programs that I feel do things the right way, or their kids act really respectful, or the coaches just really know what they're doing and take a lot of pride in their work and their game. So I try to target people like that really enjoy the game, that would really enjoy an event like this, that's honoring something bigger than just our teams or our kids. It's really honoring our entire city in the game of basketball.
Yeah, talk about the heritage in Greater Cleveland with the sport of basketball and just some of the really good teams that we've seen go through here. It's a lot bigger of a tradition than people give it credit for. Everybody thinks about football, and then in the wintertime they think about wrestling and some ice hockey as well. But really, basketball has a really rich tradition in Northeast Ohio at the high school level.
Yeah, big time. We've had some of the best players. You look at LeBron James, he's in Northeast Ohio. Arguably the best or one of the best players to ever play the game. But even just locally, we figured it out today that Clark Kellogg is going to do a video for our event that will play at the event before games. People say that Clark Kellogg not only may be the best high school player in Cleveland, but maybe the best high school player ever. The tradition, as you said, is definitely rich. I just, as a young kid growing up in Cleveland, going to games from the time I was 2 or 3 years old, got to witness and see so many really good players, see the different rivalries, see the different communities that really rally behind their school. And to me, that was just so much fun. That's why I continue to be a high school coach now. And there's been nothing like this in our city to really put that in the forefront. So in thinking about this for the last few years and now finally taking the final step to do it, I think, it's just going to be a fun weekend of honoring the sport that, a lot of people love around here.
Yeah. What in your mind will make this weekend a complete 100% success?
Just that everyone comes and has fun and enjoys it. Good basketball. We, of course, want good competitive games, and I think we put together a bunch of good competitive games on different levels. But just for the kids to come in, enjoy their experience in a beautiful facility on a college floor, coaches to have this experience early in the year to play in a bigger venue, and then for everyone to just enjoy each other. I think, we spend so much time competing against one another and trying to be better than one another, and of course that's going to happen in the games, but also to take a step back and take a little bit of time to enjoy one another and appreciate the work that, the other coaches put in, and then get to see them play, with 5 games on each day.
Have you taken some lessons from other classics or showcases that you've been a part of as a head coach and applied to the Cleveland Basketball Classic here?
So we've been fortunate enough at Mags to play in the Classic in the country.
I was going to ask about that. That's one of the if you've never been to a small town that enjoys their sports more than Berlin, Ohio, I recommend that you go.
Yeah, so Bryce McKee is partnered in the Classic in the Country with Dave Schlaball and that group from Berlin Highland, and he's helped me out with this a lot. So some of the ideas the things that we're doing definitely stem a little bit from that. You know, that event is always over Martin Luther King Day weekend, and they play videos of some of the speeches that Dr. King said. So, you know, my idea, kind of a spin-off of that, was let's go and find some of the greats of Cleveland basketball, have them make videos, and play those before the games. So definitely a little bit different, but also kind of similar in certain ways.
When you look at the schedule for games, obviously you're going to be focused on your game at Berea Mid-Park against Berea Mid-Park on Saturday. But are there some other matchups that you're really looking forward to watching, just as a fan, over this 2 days?
Yeah, I've said this on a couple podcasts already, but Olmsted Falls and Reynoldsburg in the girls' side. I'm always impressed by Olmsted Falls. Coach Jordan Eaton does an incredible job with his program. They've been the best team in the Cleveland area over the last 5 years. You know, watching their kids and the way their kids interact with not only each other but their coaches and their community is something really special and something that we're really striving to build and are on the right path of doing that at Mags. We're not as strong as they are at that yet, and I realize that takes a lot of time to get to that point. But they're playing the defending Division I state champs in Reynoldsburg, who they lost a few players, but they kind of reload every year. So I would say on the girls' side, that is kind of the big matchup of the day. You know, Berea Mid-Park's always a tough team, so our game will be a good, tough, competitive game. And then St. Joe's Academy and Medina Highland, they both made regionals last year. So, again, just another really good competitive game with, you know, two programs with, you know, a lot of history and tradition to them as well. You know, on the boys' side, I'm looking forward to being able to see St. Ed's play. I coached at St. Ed's. I went to St. Ed's. I came up under Eric Flannery. So that's going to be fun to be able to watch them play. But the game before them is pretty interesting. Padua against Hawken. Brian Ansbury is the head coach at Padua. He's one of my best friends. Josh Nugent's the head coach at Hawken. He's one of my best friends. And the three of us actually coach together at St. Ed's. So now we've kind of all branched off, and we're running our own programs. And they've never gotten to play each other. So I think it'll be kind of special to have two St. Ed's alums, guys that coach with each other, now coaching against each other before St. Ed's plays. I think that'll be special for Eric to be able to come in and watch that. And then, you know, the later three games, I think there's just loads of talent in those games. Gilmore, Toledo, St. John's. Gilmore's returning state runner-up at Division II. They lost to St. Vincent St. Mary, who was probably the best team in the state, regardless of division last year. And then Richmond Heights is defending Division IV state champs, and they're favored to repeat, heavy favorites in Division IV again. So, yeah, I think there's loads of individual talent, really good teams, really good coaches, really good communities, and that was my goal in putting this together.
Yeah, well, I know you will be paying special attention to that second game on Sunday. I'm going to be paying special attention to the first game because, like you to St. Ed's, I myself am a Padua alum, and I enjoy seeing the Bruins play any chance that I get, and hopefully they'll put on a good show for everybody. Yeah. But, you know, overall, like, before I let you go, I want to know how much work went into getting this done on the back end. Everybody sees the games and the box scores at the end, but really, how long have you been working to get this idea across the finish line?
I think the first conversation I had with Steve about doing this at BW was back in March. So it started then. My idea of it started before that, but the work started back in March. And, you know, there wasn't a week that went by where I wasn't doing something for a couple hours. And then I would say the last month and a half, I've been doing stuff every single day for it. And it's not major work. It's just all little things to tie it together to try and make it a special experience. I mean, I could have 5 games on Saturday, 5 games on Sunday, hire refs, tell everyone to show up, and that's it. But we got sponsors for a hospitality room. We got sponsors for T-shirts for all the participants. We have our own book person. Like a lot of these showcases, you show up and you've got to do your own book, and there's not an official book. We're going to do that. We're using the BW announcer, which is going to be fun. I've heard he's very entertaining at the BW games. So, adding special things like that to just make it a better experience, not only for the kids and coaches, but for the spectators as well, has definitely been challenging, been a lot of work, but I feel like I've stayed on top of it. Everything's ready and set to go, and we're excited.
Yeah, and you should be, because the slate of games is absolutely incredible. Again, it's 5 games on Saturday. Those are the girls' games, and then 5 games on Sunday the boys will take to the court, and there'll be some outstanding talent both of those days. One of the aspects to the Classic in the Country that you referenced earlier was coaches. They bring in a lot of coaches from the college ranks to help scout these young players. Is that an element to this weekend? And you don't have to name drop, but just are we going to see some college coaches in the stands?
We're in hopes that we'll definitely see some. We've gotten some feedback that potentially there'll be some coaches there. We don't have a big list like the Classic in the Country. That's such an established event, but it's definitely something that we want to build for in the future.
Absolutely.
To make this an event where kids have that opportunity to not only play on a college floor in a really nice facility, but also maybe gain a little exposure out of it as well.
And before we let you go, we'll talk about your team.
Okay.
What are we expecting out of the Magnificat team this year?
Yeah, our girls have worked really hard. I'm really excited about this group. We have girls in all 4 grades on the varsity team, and all 4 grades will contribute to the team. We have a really good group of seniors who are so selfless. They've gone through 3 years of the program, and they've seen some ups and downs over the last few years, and they've done an incredible job, laying the groundwork and making sure everyone knows what our values are and the standards that we've established. Okay, and then we have really talented younger kids. A few juniors that are extremely talented. Our sophomore class is probably the most talented in the area, if not the state. And then, like I said, we have a freshman on varsity that will contribute as well. But we've really made a point to play really tough, hard-nosed, half-court defense. In the past, we've played a lot of full court. This year, I think you'll see us, more rugged, half-court, man-to-man style defense with still a fast-paced offense where we're looking to move the ball quickly, get it up the floor quickly, share it with one another as much as we possibly can, and we are a really good outside shooting team. We probably have 6 or 7 girls that consistently make outside shots. So try and get the ball to the basket, get fouled, or shoot a kick-out 3 is what we'll be looking to do.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for joining me to talk about Magnificat basketball and the Cleveland Basketball Classic. We wish you luck on this first event, and hopefully it's the first of many in a partnership with BW to play those gyms at Ersprung Gymnasium.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Everyone at BW has been outstanding, incredible to work with, and cannot wait to start the event on Saturday.
Awesome. Well, best of luck again, Coach. We appreciate the time. That's Coach Danny Gallagher from Magnificat High School and also the founder of the Cleveland Basketball Classic, which will be a 10-game showcase over the Thanksgiving weekend with 5 girls games on Saturday and 5 boys games on